Hello and a very good evening to you all, and hopefully some of you out there are joining us. I know there's other things going on at the moment, but we'll try and keep you up to speed with the football as well. But at the moment we've got qualifying here in Spa, and we've got, at the moment, half a minute gone, and no sign of anyone out on track, although the Mercedes garage looks to have a little bit of movement outside of it, and yep, a couple of cars further down as well, so it looks like we are going to get some cars out on track, and we can have a look at who's eager to get out there first. We'll make sure we've got everything set right. So we've got the don't need that. Yeah, that's everything. So Snellhank's out on an outlap then, and who is the first? It looks like Matty has found himself on the way down to Lake Coombe. First off, Haas obviously a long way down the pit lane. So well positioned for that, and I believe it's Spivey. No, it's not. It is Rusty in just behind him. So again, Alpha a little bit further down the pit lane, sure to run out onto the track. But as you can see from the mini-map in the bottom right, we do have quite a few cars now taking to the track. It's a long lap, so it'll be a while before we have any flying laps to talk about. Good, probably 2 minutes for an outlap around here, as we'll go on board through P1. Get a first taste of this Belgium Grand Prix circuit for this season. Obviously we've had Portugal and Japan, two very flowing circuits, and coming to another high-speed circuit here in Belgium, so yeah, getting through them early on in the season. We'll go to Brazil next week before a few street circuits in a row. We've got Saudi Arabia in Jeddah, of course, and then Monaco and Singapore make round 6 and round 7, so that'll be interesting. Either way, we will probably pick up Matty, as he's the first person to go on to a flying lap. We'll pick him up through the bus stop chicane, taking a very wide entry, of course, onto the start of the lap. And then he's looking to pick out his braking point, probably just after the 100-metre board down into turn 1. He's all the way down to second gear, we'll probably short shift up to third for the best traction. We've got some yellow flags. I think that's just cars positioning themselves, although it does look like we've lost an Alpha Tauri, and Sinful has retired. I don't think he actually made it out on track, so I'm not entirely sure what the issue there was, but the Alpha Tauri's got back underway anyway. I believe that was Royce then, and he didn't have the best of outings last time out in Japan either, only 15th in the end, I think, having got a solid 4th on the board early on in Portugal. Back to Matty then as he comes through the middle sector, and again coming through Prawn a little bit more aggressively than we saw Spivey on his outlap a moment ago. Someone's lost it. Uglar has lost it at the top of the hill then, so Rouge claims its first victim of the evening, unfortunately, and he didn't get a time on the board, so he'll be starting right down the back, you'd imagine. Matty about to come through into the final sector, running out wide onto that curb, of course, the shallowest run through the second part of Stablo, and now a long run down to Blanchemont and then the bus stop to finish the lap. Just trying to scrub off as little speed as possible through here. It's absolutely flat, of course, in a modern F1 car, and now again you're looking probably just around the 100-metre board to get it slowed down for what is a tricky little final chicane. The curbs sort of invite you to take a lot of them, but punish if you take too much and end up on that sausage curb, of course. And then Matty goes across the line with a 1:44.353. I've not got the there we go, fastest lap, yeah, that's right. Rusty goes it across afterwards on a 45.9, and a 45.2 for Snellhank puts him second. Goa is fourth at the moment on a 47.0. The times I imagine are going to come flying in now. IJ 47.4. Goran Potner second on a 44.9. As we've lost Jones, where was that? That's on the exit of Stablo, isn't it? So we'll try and pick it up with Richie. Yep, he's lost it and spun to the inside by the looks of things. I wonder if he clipped the barrier on the right, on the left-hand side first, or if it's just a straight spin on the exit. Smithy, your race winner from round 1, has gone across the line just behind his teammate. It's making it all McLaren second row at the moment. 1:45.3 for him. Who else have we missed in there? GR, I think, in the other Alpine, as Richie goes across the line with a 44.9, just ahead of Goran Potner, and Zabi again showing that it's a little bit of a 2x2 grid at the moment, with an all Aston second row and now an all McLaren third row. Lovely camera there, really showing the elevation change as you go through the dip of Eau Rouge and over the top of Radion onto the Camel Straight, and taking a little bit of a shortcut there across the grass. Who else do we have? We've got Royce coming through the final corner, so we think he went for a little bit of a spin as he got the entry a little bit wrong there, and massive oversteer. So yeah, we saw that. We think it was a spin anyway on the mini map, but maybe some rear tyre troubles for him on that lap. I'm sure we'll see more than a 2 minute 36 very soon. And who else we've got? We've got Frax coming into the pits, so he's not managed a lap, and Westy yet to go out on the track by the looks of things. Actually, we've got Inorganic and Danos out on track, but still, yeah, showing behind Jones and Uglar at the moment. First half is finished. It's England 0, Wales 0. And the USA still 1-0 up against Iran at the moment. So, yeah, there's your update. Back to what really matters this evening, as Inorganic is coming through into the final sector. And, yeah, one of 4 drivers not to set a lap time so far that are still in the session. So, Westy's on an outlap, Danos is on an outlap, so we should get a little bit of track action whilst the rest go back to the pits and put a new set of tyres on. Inorganic now through the final corner, getting it slowed down. Second gear. Taking a very wide entry, which makes me think, is he going for another lap? So 150.2, so I'm definitely sure he's got more in the tank than that. And yeah, maybe going for another lap straight after. Maybe a small mistake on that lap. Royce has made another mistake down at pretty much the same part of the track that we saw him having trouble with his outlap, down at the Fagny chicane, just before Stavelo. It looks as though he has lost it a little earlier this time, and yet those rear tyres are absolutely cooked. We'll give him the privacy of getting back to the pits by himself for that one. We say that as Westy's about to come across him on the inside there. So yeah, Westy on an outlap, Danos on an outlap. Danos is about to start a lap, so we'll go on board with him as he comes down the pit straight. And again, looking for that break point for turn 1. A little bit wide, missed the apex, got it turned in a little later than usual. We've got yellow flags as well. There's a Haas ahead, I think, that's just come out of the pit lane. That is Matty. So only the one Haas this evening. We're missing. Who are we missing? Leaky, aren't we? Who finished 7th, had a very strong debut in Portugal, and then unfortunately we lost him last week to a DNF. So I hope to see him back next week in time for Brazil, which is a sprint race, I believe, next week. Danos, though, is already down into the second sector, and that Haas hopefully isn't too much of an issue. He could probably time getting out of the way down on the run to Puon, pull to the inside, and let the Mercedes go, because in that sort of second part of the middle sector there's not a great amount of space to do so, as he does pull to the left hand side. Very nicely done through Puon for Danos this time. So the only man who's currently still behind the retirees, and can demote them at one further place. And comes through the chicane. All very neat and tidy at the moment. A little bit wide though, and lucky to keep the lap there actually. I'm not sure how at what sort of speed and how far you can go out there before you invalidate the lap, but he's very much on his way through the final sector now, and once again just that long run to Blanchemont, and then the big braking zone into the final chicane. That's basically your final sector for you. Try and scrub off as little speed as possible, and then just one big braking zone and a fiddly little chicane. That's your sector 3 here at Spa. And again, just getting that second curve quite nicely actually. Good traction on the exit, and across the line to go provisional pole. So 44.2 slots himself ahead of Matty, who is right behind him, and will be wanting to put that right on this next lap. So Richie, Goran Potner, Zabi, Snellink and Smithy all still in the pit lane. Just under 8 minutes remaining. They've only done one run, so you can't afford to hang about here at Spa in qualifying to get 3 runs in. You've really got to be on it. Bearing in mind you've got an 18-minute session and a run of outlap, flying lap and in-lap can quite easily cost you 6 minutes by the time you've got put back into the garage as well. So yeah, you've really got to be on it. Obviously you get a little bit extra time towards the end of the session as well. You don't have to have your lap finished by the end, and you don't have to do in-lap on the final run, of course. But yeah, 7 minutes remaining. No time to hang about. Matty, what is he going to be doing on this lap when we get to the second sector time, which is going to be in just a few corners time through this second part, taking a lot of curb on the left now. Oh, big snap of oversteer as he comes through the exit. Now through Stavlo. What's the time going to be? Yeah, lost a couple of tenths, probably all. Oh, and now he's round and the wheel's off. So that's qualifying over for Matty. Let's just have a quick check in of what his qualifying's been so far this season. Well, it appears Spritzy's taken the qualifying results off the sheet, but I can tell you because he got pole position in Portugal and Japan, so we will have a different pole sitter for the first time this season, as Matty will go no higher than second place. I would imagine with that time he'll still be solidly within the top 10, so it could be much worse if he hadn't got that lap in first of all. Let's have a quick look on the comments. Higgsy, very strong lap time from Matty. That was a few moments ago, so yeah, it didn't really age that well. And some support from Backer. Last to first for Jones, apparently. Well, he's not quite going to be last, actually, at the moment, because Uglar and Sinful in behind him. Let's just check in with another Red Bull, who I think has just gone into third place. Westy there at 44.9, as Richie comes across to start a lap. And one of the Astons, is this Goran Potner? Yeah, starting a lap as well by the looks of things. We've got the Alpine of GR here actually coming across the line to finish a lap. And can he improve his position? He does go P10 ahead of the AlphaTauri at the moment. So good lap from him there. And who else have we got? We've got Rusty. Not improving and returning to the pits. Goer's improving by almost 2 tenths, so he could take that P10 back, straight back off of the Alpine actually, as he comes through into the final corner. Sorry, we've got just looking there at an Alpine having some trouble at the top of the hill. Across the line does indeed go back to P10, and the Alpine recovering with no damage, so I would be surprised if he's gone off through Eau Rouge and managed to keep it out of the wall. So I wonder if there's just a small issue there for him. But either way, what have we got going on now? We've got the other Alpine of IJ, who isn't improving and looks like he's coming back to the pits. Westy, I think, is coming back to the pits as well. Richie could well... Yeah, he is on a lap here. There's tyres scattered all over the track by the looks of things, as he comes through. And now, again, just that final corner awaits him. And at the moment, he is not very far off Westy. He's 6 tenths off Matty. We didn't see... he's coming back into the pits, so obviously not improving enough. He has the live delta, of course, that we don't get the luxury of. Goran Potner coming through the final corner, so we'll see what time he can put in. Does this improve? It does indeed. It goes provisional pole at 44.1. Just under a tenth faster than Danos at the moment. Knocks Matty down to the second row. As there's an Alfa Romeo coming out of the pit lane. We've got Snelling across to start a lap by the looks of things, as is Sabi. So with 3.5 minutes remaining, I think that's probably going to be their final attempts, isn't it? Danos as well starting a lap, as IJ not improving so far and out of electrical energy, so won't improve on this lap. Who do we have further around? Inorganic, is he on a lap? He's not using the ERS, so I don't think so. Frax, we've yet to see a time from him. He's the only one still running that we've not had a time from, and he's about to start a lap right now. So we'll keep an eye on him then. Can he get up with his teammate into well into the top 10 anyway, and make the day of quite a few Ferrari supporters that I'm sure we've got with us this evening. There always seem to be a few about. So yeah, down the hill to Rouge for the first time on a flying lap for Frax this evening. Keeping it well within the track limits, nicely done. And the DRS open now down the Kennel Straight. He's going to be looking for that first sector time. A little bit of traffic ahead. It's the Alfa Romeo of Spivey, I believe, on an outlap, so shouldn't be an issue in terms of being held up. Oh, but that's a big snap, and that's going to be in the wall. And, well, I'd be very surprised if he's not got rear damage with that. But either way, he's got a big issue because these tyres will be cooked. And even if he has enough fuel, he's not going to get round again, is he, to get back into the pits with 1:58 remaining. That might be Frax starting down the back with the other retirees, unfortunately. Massive oversteer through Lecum, and yeah, you can see he's really struggling to get those tyres back into a working range. Cosmo in the chat with support for Mercedes, of which we've just actually missed Danos going quickest. The first man into the 43s, 43.909. Goran Potner, I think, did he improve? No, he didn't. Has Zabi improved? I think he has, hasn't he? Into P4. We lost Rusty at the top of Eau Rouge. That's another one that's gone. What else have we got? Spivey coming through. What is this going to be as he comes across the line? Starting a lap by the looks of things. So Inorganic is improving by 7/10. What can he do in the final sector to get himself up around IJ? I just missed it by 3/10 in the end, unfortunately. Westy, is he on a lap? No, he's starting a lap. Goers in the garage. Royce is starting a lap. So yeah, we've got very different strategies from the drivers out there. A few of them have gone early, but there's quite a few with just half a minute remaining, all to get across the line. Frax back to the pits, unfortunately for him. So no chance of another lap. Richie starting a lap, as you can see from that very wide entry to the final corner. Zabi's on a lap. Well, I say he's on a lap. He was improving, but I think he's run out of energy, so he's on a second lap. Can he do anything? Unfortunately, I was about to say he's run out of energy, so he probably won't go any quicker, but he's looped it around at the final corner anyway, giving it just a little bit too much on the exit. So that's the end of his qualifying, and just runs out of time as he crosses the line. So he sees the checkered flag. Danos, your provisional pole sitter, is back to the pits. Snellhink's not going to go any faster. He's finished for the evening in terms of qualifying anyway. Goran Potner is back to the pits, so I think we might only have 1 or 2 laps still out there. Spivey, half a second up at the moment. That could, if he can keep improving, put him around the GR and Goa sort of range. Can he get into the top 10 with this one? We've got yellow flags. That's Royce has lost it, unfortunately. Spivey through the final corner. Can he keep that rate of improvement up as he goes across the line? He does put it into P10, a 46.024. Great final sector for him. And Inorganic is invalidated. He will go no faster. Right, now we've got a couple of big ones further around the track. We've got Westy, unfortunately, has invalidated his lap. Smithy is improving marginally. Where's Richie? Is he improving? We didn't quite grab the time, unfortunately. So Westy's going to come back into the pits, then I would imagine. No, he's carried on to the finish. See the checkered flag. Smithy, can he improve? Can he get himself ahead of his teammate for P7? No, just slots in behind him. Who have we got still to come? Richie's back in the pits, and Royce takes the checkered flag. So I think that is it. We've got Inorganic and Richie going back to the pits. Everyone else has seen the checkered flag. That is qualifying completed for the evening, and we'll have confirmation of your results in just a moment. There you have it then. Danos on pole, the only man to get into the 43s this evening, with Graham Potner alongside him on the front row. Matty only got one lap in, but it was good enough for P3 alongside Zabby on the second row. Then you got Westy, Richie, Snellhenk, and Smithy, the two McLaren teammates, alongside each other on row 4. Then we've got the two Alfa Romeos of Rusty and Spivey, Gary in the AlphaTauri, and the two Alpines also very closely matched. In organic, Roy's and then you've got Frax, Jones, Uglar, and Sinful all didn't set a time, and that's going to be your 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th places on the grid, which we will be going to very shortly. Right, as the drivers get settled into their cars on the grid and pick their strategies, fuel loads, and whatnot, let's just have a quick look. So, according to the weather forecast, we've got a 19% chance of rain. Air temperature's pretty stable, so it only goes down 2 degrees over the next hour. Track temperature likewise. So it looks like we're going to have an overcast and very dull evening, but generally looks like it's going to stay dry as the drivers get underway on their formation lap. We'll just get the information on screen then, so we can see what tyres they've gone for. So we've got the majority out there on mediums. We've got Snellhenk, Inorganic, and Sinful have all gone for a set of the hard tyres, which is interesting. Did see this in Suzuka last week, though. Not a massive variation on the strategy, so pretty much all confident that they've gone the right way. What have we got in the chat? Let's have a quick look. Yeah, not sure about that one. Let's have a quick look and see if we've got any telemetry. We have got some telemetry. So we've got, like I say, we've got the weather forecast. We've got the driver names. We don't have. Well, it seems we have some sort of damage information. We don't have any tyre information, unfortunately, by the looks of it. Either way, we're coming through the final sector now, so we will be on the grid very shortly, and we'll do the best with what we've got. But yeah, very overcast indeed. Looks a lot darker out there than it did in qualifying. So there remains an outside threat of rain, and obviously, yeah, the majority of them out there on the mediums. Those who are on the hards, if rain did come a little bit later on, they're in the ideal position to benefit from that, of course, as we now come across the grid hatchings. So the leaders about to line up. So we've still got a couple coming through Blanchemont at the back of the field. So we'll probably have about a 30-second wait here for those right at the front. Oh, and Zabby's just missed the grid spot there, as does Smithy. Spivey as well. It's always interesting to see who can get this right and who gets a little bit greedy. 3 so far, but we've got one Mercedes right up the front, and we've got the other one pulling in just now. Lost Uglar there as well, right at the back. Unfortunately, we just lost one more. Sinful though, very much in position, and we can now go to the front. We're not going to get a forward-facing camera, unfortunately, but we've got 5 lights on, and we are underway. Danos getting a pretty reasonable start by the looks of things. As he stays ahead of Goran Potner for now, though. Oh, a little bit of contact. Goran Potner going right around the outside. He'll get run out there, unfortunately. But, Danos still leading from Goran Potner. Matty, Westy up one already. Richie up one. Someone's lost a lot of positions. It's Zabby, unfortunately, in the other Aston. As we come through Rouge for the first time, Danos and Goran Potner absolutely nose to tail. And Matty as well, looking to slingshot past on the run down to Leikum. So, can he get around the outside? That's going to be a squeeze, isn't it? Late on the brakes, but Goran Potner had the ideal line going in there. Oh, Snellhank almost getting to the back of Richie. The other McLaren, though, Smithy, he's had a little bit of contact, I think, with one of the Alphas. And it may have been Rusty, I think. Yeah, Rusty's got no front wing, unfortunately. So that's going to drop him down the order. Westy running a little bit wide. Football news, England 1-0 up after 50 minutes. There you go. That's all that's happened for now. Back to the race. And we've got Danos still leading now with for a fairly comfortable gap, actually, from Goran Potner and Matty. Richie up 2, so the Ferrari fans will be loving that. We've got Red Bull support in the chat as well. Westy currently P5. Jones up 3 positions to P14. Make that 4 positions to P13. So, good for him. And Frax as well, up 4. Rusty is the big loser, of course, at the moment with no front wing. GR has lost the left-hand side of his front wing. Inorganic, does he have any damage, or has he just been involved in an incident and lost 4 places? Not entirely sure. Football news once again. England are 2-0 up after 51 minutes. So that happened. Lap 2. So we managed to get 2 goals in 1 lap. Danos across the line leads from Goran Potner, Matty and Richie. As we come across, Westy still in P5. Snellhank managed to just about avoid everything down at Leikum on lap 1. Zabby's back up, clawing his way back through the field. It may show that he's down 3, but he's gained a few back since then. And through Rouge they come for the second time. Smithy, despite that incident, has stayed where he started, although was that no, sorry, that was the other McLaren coming under pressure, wasn't it? Snellhank has Zabby right on the back of him. So what have we got? We've got GR, I think, has been reset to the track there by the looks of things. Still has that front wing damage, so obviously didn't pit. Rusty has done. He's got a brand new front wing on his Alfa Romeo. And let's have a quick look at what else we've got happening. We've got Zabby really putting Snellhank under pressure for that P6. Is that the hard tyres? Yeah, on the McLaren. Yeah, so that's probably why the Aston's looking a little bit more racy at the moment than the McLaren. He's got the yellow walled tyre on compared to the white walled harder tyre, of course. We have got some information. So Smithy is running 16% floor damage, and we have tyre information for, I assume that's Zabby because it's showing an Aston Martin. So he's on the mediums, 17% wear. We've got tyre information for Smithy, Spivey and Uglar. So they're your 4 for the evening that we're getting information from. No idea why we're not from anyone else, but there you have it. So, what have we got going on then? Zabby, of course, while we were looking at the telemetry, we did see it on the telemetry. Not sure if we covered it on the commentary. He's gone up into P6 as Goa there, running a little bit wide at the top of the hill. And Snellhank trying to come back down the Camel Straight with DRS. Can he make it around the outside of the Aston Martin? Not quite. Zabby gave him just enough room for the left-hander, but he'd already pulled ahead and was able to take up the line. As Smithy now starting to close back in on his teammate just a little bit. Those hard tyres will take some coming in, of course, especially with the cooler temperatures that we've got in these race conditions. What else have we got going on a little bit further back? We've got Frax and Jones have come to a little bit of a standstill behind Spivey here. So 12th and 13th, having had their various troubles in qualifying. and Sinful as well. He started right at the back, of course. He's gone playing the long game, starting on the hard tyres. Westy and Richie both running within DRS range of Matty, which is maybe just helping them stick with the Haas. Obviously they're getting that DRS twice a lap now. Now that we're 2 laps into the race. Interesting news that I think in the sprints next season they will be trialling the DRS coming into play after just 1 lap, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out if we were to have it here. Goran Potner though, it's closed down to just 3/10 behind Danos now. Goran Potner, who has had a pretty good start to the season. Won on track in Portugal, was demoted to P2 with a pit lane speeding penalty, and then finished 3rd in Japan as well. So where does he sit in the standings at the moment? Right at the top actually, 3 points clear of Smithy, who won round 1. So and Goran Potner does take the lead with the DRS down to Leikun. So yeah, the championship leader now takes over the lead of the race and looking very strong once again. Danos drops to P2. Matty is he was a little loose in qualifying, as we saw losing it at Stavlo. Jones has picked up a penalty unfortunately, but yeah, Matty just not looking quite as quick as we've seen him in the first 2 rounds. Not sure why that is, but he's under pressure here from Richie and Westy. One of the Red Bulls and one of the Ferraris looking very strong and looking like they could be in with a chance of a podium this evening. Danos though picks up a 3-second time penalty, so that could be crucial. That could knock him off the podium later on, as he's trying everything. We've got some yellow flags though. Danos trying to line up Goran Potner to get back through. RJ unfortunately is facing the wrong way on the exit of the Fania chicane. He should get back on without incident, but unfortunately for him, all the way down in 16th place. So, no danger of a safety car or virtual safety car or anything like that. But we do have Goran Potner under pressure a little bit from Danos, and we very much have Matty under pressure from Richie and Westy still. So back to the action, Goran Potner still leads, and Matty has also managed to hold off Richie for another run through the DRS, but he's very much under pressure now. Richie just couldn't quite get close enough to make the move on that lap, but he's getting closer every time, and you wouldn't bet against him taking that position next time around. Smithy now all over the back of his teammate Snellhank as well, so those mediums obviously still giving them plenty of life. Here we're only on lap 5 of what is obviously a shorter race than usual in terms of the lap count, because we have such a long lap here. We get to the distance quite significantly sooner in terms of laps, so it always seems to go pretty quickly. We're on lap 5 of 22, and Richie, no DRS this time. Oh, what have we got going on a little bit further down? Is that Jones? I think it could well be. Yeah, and front wing off as well, so that's not gone well for him. Wearing his Wales shirt this evening, and unfortunately for him, it's all gone wrong in both instances. We've got Danos, DRS open down the start-finish straight, putting himself into position perhaps for a move down to Leikun with the main DRS zone, if you like. Oh, wait a minute, Westy running a little bit wide. He should get some good traction out there though. But he's got Zabi very much within his DRS range, and he's actually very much struggling for electrical energy, isn't he? So that might be a move towards the end of the straight. Danos has dropped back a little bit, even with that DRS. Richie, what can he manage? He's coming on very quick, but I don't think he's going to be close enough once again. Zabi very much close enough because of the electrical issues that Westy was having. Smithy couldn't quite get close enough to his teammate. Clearly no team orders at the moment for the McLaren team. No team play there. The slower strategy at the moment on those hard tyres, very much staying ahead and fighting for his position. So Wesley, what can he do? Can he stay within that DRS range? It's 6 tenths at the moment, 7 tenths now. As we've got some more yellows, that looks like Uglar's lost it down at Lake Coombe. And yeah, if Wesley could just stay within the DRS, he can start charging that battery back up. What he can really do with now is a safety car or a virtual safety car. Zabby's got a penalty. I'm not sure if we covered that at some point. Well, I'm not sure when he picked that up either. Richie still very much on the back of Matty, but can't find a way through. Danos once again seems quicker through the second half of the lap, but can't stick with Goran Potner through this final corner and turn 1, crucially. So he got very close to the back of the Aston there, maybe a little bit too close, and had to get out of it. As he comes across the line, DRS open. And yeah, that final chicane seems to just be spreading them out enough, doesn't it? It's not the best for racing, I would have to say. As what have we got? That was bizarre. Selected Danos, but still viewing Matty. Yeah, is he actually still within the DRS range? No, Danos has lost the DRS to Goran Potner there. As Richie now coming under pressure a little bit from Zabby. Richie's run out of energy. That's what's happened there, isn't it? Just 11%. And it's looking good for Aston here. Zabby once again, what's he had so far this season? So he had a 5th in the mixed conditions of Portugal. Actually had a DNF last time out in Japan. So he could very much do with a good score this evening. And what have we got going on around the track? We have GR in the wall. And without a front wing, unfortunately, so he's going to have to head back to the pits. And we have a virtual safety car on lap 7. That's interesting, isn't it? So how long is this virtual safety car going to be out? And does do any of the medium runners feel like coming in and putting a set of hards on at this stage? It's a cheap pit stop, of course. I would say if it was a full safety car, it would be absolutely get in, put a set of hards on and go to the end. Obviously it doesn't work out well for the likes of Snelhenk and Sinful, those few that went on to the hards to begin with. It means they've got a very long stint on the medium, or they've got to pit again, or stay out. But then they're going to have to pit under green flag conditions if there's not any other sort of safety car before the end of the race. Snelhenk does indeed stay out, so are we going to have any sort of queuing for anyone in the pit lane? I guess the first one to consider is Zabby going to have to queue behind Goran Potner? It doesn't look like it, providing the team can reset themselves. Maybe lost a fraction, but not too much. IJ's got a drive-through for speeding under the VSC, unfortunately. Zabby just makes it out in front of Westy. So Snelhenk is going to lead on 7-lap-old hard tyres from Goran Potner, Danos, Matty. Spivey stayed out as well. He didn't pit, neither did Frax off the mediums. Richie slots in just ahead of his teammate. Obviously, we're back underway again. VSC in, so back under green flag conditions, and we'll try and find out where everything's settled in. Westy getting past Zabby, who's struggling for tyre temperature by the looks of things, weaving as they go down the straight. So yeah, got a little bit caught out with the restart there. Didn't see that one. The graphics aren't great for commentary, I'm afraid. They could be so much better. But either way, Smithy is in 11th place as well. Goa pitted as well. Inorganic stayed out. Roy's pitted as well for AlphaTauri. And then Jones recovering. He pitted for a set of mediums a couple of laps ago, so couldn't gain anything he could have done with a full safety car, really, couldn't he? Maybe even, yeah, he would have been able to put the hards on them, wouldn't he? So yeah, it's really not worked out well for Jones, unfortunately. But Snelhenk still leads, and it's not necessarily the end of the world for him because it wasn't a full safety car. If it was a full safety car and they'd all been bunched up behind him on new tyres going to the end, then that would have been sort of disaster for his hard tyre strategy. But at the moment, certainly if we get a safety car in sort of 5 laps time, that'd be perfect for him. So yeah, he's 7 seconds clear of Goran Potner, who got a cheap pit stop, but not a free pit stop, as you would under the full safety car. But it's just starting to close that gap back in. 6.7 now. So what's going on there? We've got Richie and Frax exchanging positions. And Simple right behind as well. He's on hard tyres. Frax on mediums at start of the race. DRS open, and the Mercedes goes to the outside. Can he get that one stopped and make the move? Both have DRS open, of course, and he does get the move done nicely. Turns in, job done from there. Westy now has a little bit of ground to make up, as does Zabi. They've sort of been cut off from the likes of Matty and Richie with this with coming back out into traffic, haven't they? Although Sinful looks like he's made a bit of an error there. Frax all over the back of him once again. As Westy running right out onto the curb, looking to make his way through this traffic as quick as possible, because he's got Zabi on the back of him once again. And yeah, they're going to have to get on with it here, because they can't afford to sit behind Sinful and Frax and lose time to those ahead. Definitely not if they want to be within that podium fight. And with Danos giving away that time to a penalty, then the likes of Westy could very much be in the podium fight if they can get themselves up the order. Westy's still struggling with that energy, and he's another one that could have done with a full safety car for exactly that reason, to recharge the battery. He's down to 5% once again, and as he sends it all the way up the inside, a little bit of contact as Frax pits. So not sure why, as a little bit more contact. Yeah, Frax pits. I'm not sure why you'd continue under the VSC and then pit just a couple of laps later, but Westy's still trying to stick this one out all the way around the outside. He'd be better off, I would imagine, just sitting in the DRS zone and trying to recharge some of that battery. Snelling still just 5 seconds now ahead of Goran Potner. Obviously a little bit of a tyre offset there. And what else we've got going on? Richie on Spivey. That should be job done from there, you would imagine, on fresh tyres. I can't imagine Spivey's going to go too much longer on those medium tyres. So lap 10 of 22. We've got Luke in chat with some support for Ferrari, so we've just seen him, Richie there, taking position. Will go down well, I'm sure. So Spivey is one of the 4 drivers we have tyre information for. It seems completely random, but he is on 43% tyre wear on the left-hand side. Who else is out there? Smithy and Zabi on the hards. They're on 11 and 10% wear. So front tyre's taking a bit more of a hit for them. More news for you. It's now 3-0 England. And still 1-0 USA. Danos now all over the back of Goran Potner. This is closed in, hasn't it? Once again, Danos right in the DRS range of what is effectively a net leader, and a fastest lap of the race for Danos as well. Spivey pits. So that's a change there. And Smithy on the back of Westy, who's still got that red light flashing. We'll just nip back to Danos. No, not quite close enough to make a move this time. Smithy should make a move on Westy, who's really struggling with that battery now. Look how far he's dropped off Zabi already. Sort of 2.5 seconds, pretty much instantly. And what else have we got going on further down the back? It's starting to spread out a little bit, isn't it? The main fight really was Westy and Smithy there. We've got an RPM train there from 5th to 9th. All Team RPM members, of course, and one up there in 3rd place as well. So always good to see. But at the moment, this is your closest fight on track. We've got some yellow flags down at turn 1. I think that's maybe a car coming out of the pits. But Danos all over the back of Goran Potner at the moment. He seems to be struggling just a bit. I wonder if he's not picked up any damage, has he? Doesn't appear to have done. But yeah, it doesn't seem to be quite as quick as he was on the mediums. I wonder if it's a tyre temperature issue. Obviously they're on the hards now, it's a little bit cooler. The track is cooling. If he's a little bit on the low side with his tyre pressures, maybe that could be affecting the temperatures. But either way, Danos is sticking within that half-second window as he comes down the main straight. And if you can keep the traction through turn 1, that's where he's been losing the time. He's still just about within half a second. Now he's within range, and look, he's got double the battery of Goran Potner as well. So this could be a move for second place, which is effectively a move for the lead. Let's just take things away for a moment. But no, once again, the straight line speed of Goran Potner is enough to stay ahead. And they are now closing in on Snelling. You can see him just turning into the right-hander down the hill there. And it really does look quite nice when you clear things off, doesn't it? Goran Potner is very much closing in on Snelling, who, when's he going to pit? We've seen them go sort of 10 laps on the mediums, aren't they? So I would imagine, what's his, did we have tyre information for Snelling? We didn't, unfortunately. Just thinking he's going to want to take them as far as possible now to just see if he can get a safety car or anything like that. Luke in the chat saying he's watching football and watching RPM. Good combo. Yeah, I'm trying to do my best to do likewise, but not easy. Almost 4-0 there. That was a very good chance. What have we got going on? So 4 cents between Danos and Goran Potner. Still the closest battle on track, is it? Smithy maybe coming back a little bit, but he's still got the red light flashing. Let's get the telemetry back up for just a second. Yeah, still absolutely nothing left in the tank, but he's got enough to make a move there on Smithy and take 7th place. But can the McLaren come back and him down the pit straight? Westy still has the DRS, because he got the move done after the detection point, and for now takes the position. I imagine it's going to change pretty much straight away down the next straight. Goran Potner still just keeping clear with that straight line speed from Danos, who, oh my word, sends it all the way up the inside. That was a very late move. We just caught that as the shot went away, and then yeah, came back into shot all over the curb. So maybe it was worth a try, but a little bit adventurous and a little bit cheeky from Danos, as yeah, as predicted. Smithy and Westy trade positions once again. Lap 13 of 22, and things are just a little bit spread out. A safety car or something would be very nice right now. Richie, since that BSC and the pit stops and getting caught in a little bit of traffic, hasn't managed to close back into Matty. He's 3 seconds off the Haas at the moment, who is 3.5 off Danos at the moment. And so if he can close that into 3 seconds, then he would gain that position on the penalties at the moment, of course. Westy still within range. We've got Frax and Spivey. There's another little battle happening further down, both on pretty fresh hard tyres. Excuse me, it's getting late. Frax is one that's picked up a penalty, of course, though, so we'll lose a little bit there. Inorganic as well picks up a time penalty. Zabi on Richie, then. This is developing into a nice little battle, isn't it, for P5 at the moment? So Aston Martin versus Ferrari. There's been a lot of talk and a lot of banter between those two teams here in the Discord. And where do they sit at the moment then? So in terms of the First Division Constructors, Aston Martin right up the top, Ferrari only 5th at the moment, so I have some work to do to get back to their sort of level from last season. And at the moment, Richie still holding off and maintaining that 5th place. Graham Pottner still has Danos half a second behind him, but maintaining the position as he has done for quite a lot of this race now. Into lap, well, we're almost into lap 15, so into the closing stages, and the chances of a safety car becoming slimmer all the while. And it looks like we're going to have a straight run to the end of this Grand Prix. And Danos then will be quite thankful of that, because he's got double the electrical energy of Graham Pottner, and I've got a feeling we may have a similar situation to the season opener if we end up with a driver winning on track but not taking the victory. Graham Pottner's gone a little deep. I think Snelling's into the pits, isn't he? He is indeed, so he's coming in for a set of, I would imagine, the mediums. Will he throw a set of softs at it, take the gamble? But what's Graham Pottner going to do now? He's actually probably a little bit further ahead than he has been the last 2 laps. Snelling does indeed go for the mediums. Smithy and Westy are both pitted as well. What, have they got damage if they had an incident? No, just mediums going on. What's that all about then? What am I missing? What do they know that I don't? So they're going to come out, what, 3 places back from where they were? I'd find that strange if one of them had done it, but the fact that both of them have pitted, neither of them seem to repair damage. And they've come out quite a way behind where they were, so were they ahead of Sinful and behind Snelling? Were they 7th and 8th? I think that rings a bell anyway. So they've got about, what, 10 seconds to make up. Interesting. They should have some decent pace on a fresh set of mediums, but yeah, like we said, they've definitely got work to do. Danos still sticking within that sort of half second to 3/10 range of Graham Pottner up front, and he's got to keep that pressure on, of course, because all the while that he's behind Graham Pottner, he could force the Aston Martin driver into getting his own penalty. Zabi's still sitting within that half-second window as well of Richie. It seems very easy to get into that sort of half-second window, doesn't it? Making the move seems to be that little bit more difficult. Into what, lap 16 now, yes, for the front runners. 16 of 22, not long to go, and Danos a little bit further behind than he has been. So starting to drop back. I wonder if Graham Pottner's maybe just getting things nicely up to temperature, getting into the swing of things on these hard tyres now. Just starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. Matty's in a pretty lonely P3 at the moment, although he's close to within 2 seconds of Danos, so at the moment will take P2. So Danos could do with clearing Graham Pottner to try and build that 3-second barrier back up, because Matty appears to have the pace at the moment to keep that within 3 seconds. Richie is also 3 seconds back from Matty, and has still Zabi all over the back of him, who has his own penalty, of course. So we'll drop back a little bit at the moment. Snellhenk is too far back to capitalise on that, but does have those fresh mediums, so can he close in for a top 5 position, I wonder? Sinful, again, another one that's in a pretty lonely P7 at the moment. He's still on those original hard tyres, isn't he? He's not pitted yet. He's got to be waiting for a safety car, hasn't he? Either that or he's going for the softs. But what have we got going on? The 2 AlphaTauris doing a pretty reasonable job in 8th and 9th at the moment. But now the 2 fresh tired cars of Westy and Smithy are starting to come through and close in. Westy appears to have left his battery at home this evening. He's absolutely flat for most of the race. Jones, despite his penalty, is closing in now on frags and might be able to salvage a few points from what has been a difficult evening. Beyond that, we've still got 18 runners out of the 19 that started. Smithy picks up a penalty. Sinful's finally in the pits, so he's not going to make it to any sort of safety car. Is he going to make it though to a set of the red-walled soft tyres? He is, and that's the first time we've seen them this evening. So just the one tyre to run them, although Jones may be throwing a set at his Red Bull as well. One last gamble. He's not been shy of sticking different compound tyres on this season, has he? He's running the wet tyre at one point in Portugal. I think he ran every tyre in Portugal. But yeah, set of soft tyres. Is that going to gain him anything? Gives him a chance at the fastest lap, of course, but he's going to lose a position to Rusty. Would have gained a position to Sinful, who had to pit. It's probably going to cost him a point or two, actually, unless something miraculous happens and he picks up a 3-second time penalty coming out of the pits there. Through Rouge as well, unfortunately. Back to the front. That's the first time in a while we've seen 2 tenths, isn't it? Danos is starting to realise that Matty's closing in and he's got to use some of that electrical energy and try and get past Goran Potner. So we're coming round into, to the end of lap 17 and into 18. Red light flashing on Goran Potner. He's running out of energy. That's why Danos seems so much quicker all of a sudden. And now this is where he's got to get the move done. Smithy's got ahead of Royce as well then. And Goa's got ahead of Westy by the looks of things. Or is that the other way around? Westy having a look at the back of Goa, I believe, isn't it? So what's going to happen now then? Once again through the first corner, Goran Potner is pulling the gap out once again, and look at Matty, just 1.4 behind now. He's not out of question for the race win here, especially if Goran Potner's struggling with energy. It doesn't seem very easy to get it back unless you're right within the DRS of someone and can charge up over multiple laps. But Danos going for the outside here. We've seen he's not shy of a bit of a brave move, and if there's any contact, Goran Potner's going to be the big loser there, because he at the moment is the one with track position and the one with no penalties. But Danos once again being frustrated, can't get through, and this is really starting to cost them time now, because they're slower because Goran Potner's got no energy left, and they're slower because they're battling and having to defend from each other and go offline. So yeah, Matty at the moment really closing in. We said he didn't have that outright pace that he's had at the first 2 rounds. It's not quite translated into results for him. We got 3rd place in round 1 and 6th place last time out in Japan. We've got some yellows. That's is that Ugla? It is indeed. So yeah, we said it's not quite had the raw pace this evening, but towards the end of this race now, he's really starting to close in, and looks like he's managed it well. So we're coming to lap 19 of 22. We've got more yellow flags. That's Royce, isn't it? Yeah, unfortunately facing the wrong way down at Pouhon. It gets underway. No issues for anyone else. But we've got a 3-car fight for the lead. Here we go. Danos has taken it, but obviously does have that penalty. What can Goran Potner do now? Can he use that DRS to charge up a little bit? Can he keep Matty behind him? Can he stay within 3 seconds of Danos? So many questions to be answered over the final 4 laps of this race, and I'm sure Matty's going to throw everything at trying to get ahead of that Aston Martin. He's really got himself in position. Zabby as well is looking good. He's in P4 at the moment. He'll drop behind Richie on the penalties as it stands, but looking good for a top 5 result. But here's the top 3. Goran Potner still using that overtake mode. Why is he doing that? He's going to pull alongside Danos, but he's not racing Danos for position. He's going to get that on the penalty anyway. So he needs to just be getting Danos to pull him along and charge the battery up, because his problem is the fact that Matty still has 50% battery and he's only 8 tenths behind him. If he gets any sort of run, he'll be passed very, very quickly indeed. Jones takes the fastest lap of the race to 47.0. As he comes across the line into lap 19 himself. So just over 3 laps remaining, and any one of these 3 could win this race still. And look at that, Goran Potner, yeah, he's dropped out of the DRS zone now. So yeah, while he was obviously using all his overtake mode up again, it's cost him. because he's not been able to stick close enough through the middle sector, and now he's really under pressure to not win this race. You'd have to say Danos or Matty probably look the favourites at the moment. We've lost IJ through Eau Rouge. Is that going to cause any... We've got a safety car! Oh, we've got a safety car! Oh my word. Oh, Richie's just picked up 3 seconds. Disaster for him, because the field's going to be closed up now. And this is disaster for Danos as well. Oh, that's disaster for Danos. A 20-second time penalty. We've seen Matty there come to almost a complete stop. And wow, this has just turned everything on its head. We're going to have... How long is this safety car going to be? It's surely going to just be this lap. I think we're going to have a one-lap safety car. We've got Zabby, Richie, Snellhenk, and... did we have Westy in? No. So we've got Zabby, Richie, and Snellhenk all in the pits on fresh softs. Richie will be ruining that penalty now, won't he? Because that would have been a chance at the win. Danos, who was just starting to get the gap he needed, and Goran Potner was holding up Matty, is now going to drop down with that penalty. It probably favours Goran Potner, if anyone. He's got the track position, he's got no penalty, and he can charge that battery up over this lap. So you don't want to be pitting if you're right down the back, though, because you're not going to get to the end of the train. It's going to be in this lap. It's going to just be one lap of safety car. Higgs is in the chat, yeah, saying exactly the same. Field probably won't even close up with this safety car. Yeah, you don't want to be pitting if you're coming across now, because you aren't going to make it up to the safety car. The safety car's already, what, halfway around the lap, pretty much, maybe not quite. Luke's saying, since when do we have a 20-second time penalty? I have absolutely no idea. But let's just see what did happen. We were looking at Matty at the time, and he came to a complete stop, I think. So they were obviously struggling with the delta. I'm not sure why it was such a struggle. Obviously, you have 15 seconds to get underneath it, but yeah, not sure. The game is always capable of a glitch, so I don't want to be too hard on the drivers before we find out what the reason was. But we are going to get underway this time. Uglar is still on hard tyres in organic, and Jones has been in again for a set of softs once again, but he's not going to catch the safety car, is he? These three, I'm pretty sure. The Alphas might just... I think Rusty will be pushing it. Safety car in this lap. Depends how... Backer saying Danos is close to disqualification. Yeah, it's really unfortunate, because he was, before that safety car, he was, what, about 2.5 seconds clear, and really looking like he could have taken the win, and he was a contender for Driver of the Week last week. And certainly, even with that penalty, if he could have pulled off the win, he would have been right up there in the votes again, I'm sure. Now it's an absolute lottery. 2 laps to decide a winner. Who's in the best situation here? We've got old hard tyres, we've got penalties, we've got no penalties, we've got brand new softs. Maybe you'd say Snellhenk, I don't know. He's got a little bit of traffic to deal with over 2 laps, but we're going to get back underway with racing. Backer saying Jones will come steaming at the restart. He's not, unfortunately. He's still quite a long way behind. Danos is letting everyone go here, by the looks of things, unless he's got an issue. So we'll carry on, because Matty's taken the position. Goran Potner has dropped back quite a bit as well. We've got Zabby fighting for the lead here. So I don't know what's happened to Danos and Goran Potner, but both dropped away into turn 1. Zabby is going to be using all of his energy to try and get ahead of Matty, because if he can take the lead here, he's got the tyres that can get him a 3-second advantage in the final lap and a half. So he does take the lead on track. What is his penalty situation? Is it just 3 seconds? It is. We've got some yellow flags. That's Frax, unfortunately, by the looks of things, facing the wrong way. And back to the front, though, because it's 8 tenths already. Richie is trying to get himself ahead of Matty as well. He can't afford to stay behind the Haas. He's got a penalty he needs to make up for. Goran Potner's still in P4. Westy and Smithy stayed on the mediums that they pitted on earlier. They would have been in a position to pit under that short safety car and put some softs on had they not made that extra stop for the mediums. But they're still on good tyres, and he still has no penalties. So could be in with a shout of a podium. Although look at the gap, it's almost 2 seconds already after just half a lap. Zabi, surely, if you can keep it on the track. We've got support for Richie in the chat. We've got Backer saying good move. I assume that was for Zabi on Matty. He got the move done early on, as he absolutely had to do, and now it's 2.2 seconds and he's looking pretty good for the win as it stands, especially if Richie starts getting involved with Matty and the Haas has to go defensive. Look at Westy and Goran Partner fighting over 4th place. Westy completely off the track there. Zabi gets the fastest lap of the race as well, so he's going to get another point there. We're still wheel banging down the back. Oh, Snelling facing the wrong way. And he can't go across the track with cars coming back either, so he's going to drop all the way to the back. And it's a disaster for the McLaren driver, who we were saying probably looked in a good position. He had no penalties and soft tyres. Jones nicks the fastest lap of 45.7. We said he obviously came steaming in, didn't he, on that restart. Maybe one of these others can go a little bit quicker this time around. What's the gap? Richie and Matty fighting. They're going to be costing each other time. We need that gap back. It's 3 seconds as it stands. This is unbelievable. Yeah, we've got some comments for Westy wanting a podium there for Backer. We've got obviously a comment on what happened with Snelling as well. Back to the action. What have we got going on further down? Oh, we've lost Richie. Richie out of the podium contention. It's disaster for Ferrari. They're both going to drop all the way to the back of the field. And we've got Zabi leading by 4.2 seconds. He's going to surely take this win from here. Richie's been disqualified for being parked in a dangerous location. So, yeah, sorry Ferrari boys, it's all gone wrong. As what have we got then as we come through the final sector? This race was getting a little bit interesting on its own accord. That safety car, 1 lap safety car, has absolutely blown it to pieces. But it's Zabi Acker who is coming through the final chicane. He's 5.3 clear. That penalty won't matter. He's going to take the checkered flag and win for Aston Martin. Matty is going to take 2nd place, I believe. It's going to be a double podium for Aston Martin, just holding off Westy across the line. Smithy will take P5. Sinful. Smithy's dropped down with penalties, so it's going to be Westy. Goer all the way up into P5. He stayed out there on hard tyres. Great result for him. And what else? We've got Spivey with a fantastic P6. Smithy dropped to P7. Sinful P8 from the back of the grid. Royce, Rusty, Inorganic, and it's all a bit of shuffling with penalties. So Frax takes 13th. Danos 14th. Jones takes the final point in 15th. And did he get the fastest lap as well? He did. Zabi's in the chat. You're not dreaming. That happened. That did happen. Wow. What a race. Not sure what Goran Partner's got to do to win a race this season. What's that now? 2nd, 3rd and 3rd. I believe that's the first time we've had a double podium, is it? So the first race was McLaren, Aston and Haas. The second race was Mercedes, Red Bull and Aston. So yeah, it's the first double podium for a team this season. And it's the team that were already leading the Constructors' Championship. So confirmation there of Zabi Acker taking the win from Matty. Goran Partner, Westy, Goa, Spivey, Smithy, Sinful, Royce, Rusty, Snellhank Inorganic, Frax, Danos, Jones took fastest lap in 15th, Uglar was your final finisher, and then IJ, GR and unfortunately Richie were your DNFs. So yeah, difficult to pick a driver of the day out of that one. Zabi obviously fantastic drive to pick up the pieces at the end there. Goran Partner, you can say, did nothing wrong really, did he? Danos, other than that penalty, unfortunately dropped all the way to 14th on the end. Not sure what happened to him on that restart. Did obviously have the drive through as well. Yeah, I'll be in the Discord for my driver of the day. I'm gonna have to pick that one apart. Thank you very much for joining us. The football looks like it's going to end 3-0, and USA is currently still 1-0. So I believe that puts England and the USA through, and Iran and Wales out. So there's your little update. You can go and catch the final minute or so if you get off quickly. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a very good evening, and we'll see you next week.